Yes, let's start now, student. Very good afternoon to everyone. I hope you all are fine. So, we were discussing unit number 4, and we have almost completed half of the unit number 4, but still there are some important topics left here in unit 4. Now, let's begin with let's begin with the next discussion. Okay, I hope I'm audible properly and I'm visible too. And my screen is
Yes, ma'am.
visible too. Yes, correct. Okay, so let me start with the revision. In last session, we did the discussion regarding visibility modes or access specifiers, private public protected default. In detail, we discussed where it can be used for class, which specifier can be used for variable and method, what you can use. So all this thing we discussed. Programmatically, we will be discussing whenever it will be needed. Fine. Now let's begin with the next set of discussion. Here also we'll be having the base for Java, that is, I must say the name is OOP principles, right? Every OOP language will be following these principles to some or more extent, right? Every object oriented language will have these features. Some will be having every feature 100% achieved, some will be having few features 100% achieved, and some will be partially achieved. But in short, overall, every object oriented language, including Java, will be having these features in it, and there will be syntaxes, there will be the way to achieve these principles in your program, right? So first and the foremost principle will be the class. So every object oriented language will arrange the data, will structure its data in the form of class. ठीक है, सभी सभी में class will be there in one or the other way. Second, the second principle of OOP language is of course object. So if you have the class, obviously you will be having object which will give the memory to that, which will be the instance of that class, which will be, in a simple word, it will be the variable for that class. So everything in object oriented language will be in the form of classes and objects. Right. Now the other features which are also very important and very beneficial for OOP language are these features. Let us discuss that in detail. Encapsulation. And see, students, these are interview related questions, and every concept in OOP, all these six principles, you are supposed to explain it programmatically as well as theoretically, so understand it very properly. Encapsulation is one of the major principle of OOP. So how, let me first list out the features and then we'll be understanding each and every one. Then comes data abstraction. Fifth is polymorphism, and last but not least is the inheritance. Right. Now, encapsulation. As the name suggests, it encapsulates, it groups, it arranges, whatever you give the name, whatever you call it. It encapsulates the and data and methods together in one particular block, and that block is nothing but class. So using class, you are achieving the encapsulation property for object oriented language. See, encapsulation is a concept, and that concept is achieved by class syntax. When you create a class, you are actually encapsulating all the relevant things inside it. You are creating a class student, so all the information, all the properties and behavior, all the variables and methods, all the data members and member functions which are related to student entity, you are encapsulating in one particular class. That is what encapsulation. इसको याद रखने के लिए आप एक हिंट याद कर सकते हो, याद रख सकते हो कि कैप्सूल होती है ना हमारी मेडिसिन में कैप्सूल होती है. व्हाट दैट कैप्सूल कंटेन्स? all the necessary ingredient to cure a particular disease, right? Different ingredients, different medicine in a right proportion is mixed together, and everything is kept inside a capsule, right? And when you take that capsule, all the necessary ingredient will automatically will be there inside your body. ठीक है, तो आप हर जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है, रेलेवेंट थिंग्स है, आप एक एक बॉक्स में एक जगह पे एनकैप्सुलेट करते हो, ग्रुप करते हो. और वो कैसे कर सकते हैं हम? विद द हेल्प ऑफ क्लास. So using class syntax, we are actually achieving encapsulation. ठीक है, encapsulation is binding of data and functions together. Let me write it in the for the remembering purpose. Binding of, I should write relevant data and functions. Now here data is the data member and functions are the member functions. ठीक है. Next comes the data abstraction. Data abstraction is hiding of unnecessary things or hiding unnecessary data. Now this can be achieved with the help of obviously visibility mode. If you want to hide something to the outside world, we keep it private. If you want to hide something outside the packet, we keep it default. If we don't want to hide anything from the world, we keep it public, right? So that is one of the ways to achieve data abstraction. That is through visibility mode. Another way to achieve this data abstraction is through abstract method. What is this abstract method? We will be learning it later on, but right now we just understand it's abstract method. And another way to achieve data abstraction is through interface. What is that interface? Again we will be discussing, so no worries. Right now you just remember the names. ठीक है. So this is what data abstraction. Then comes polymorphism. To define it, this is a very simple definition. One name, many forms. That is what polymorphism. That is achieved through function overloading or constructor overloading. It is one and the same because anyways constructor is a type of a function only. Constructor overloading. Then function and constructor overloading. And another way is through overriding. Now what is this overriding? Again we will be getting into detail when we'll be doing that. And last but not least is the inheritance property of OOP. Inheritance is superclass, subclass relationship. It is also called parent-child relationship, right? So this is what inheritance is. Now what is inheritance? There will be one class as a super class, there will be another class which will be the child class, that we will be knowing, right? We will be doing it through programs as well as through theory. It will be much more clear at that time, but right now you just remember that you have encapsulation, data abstraction, polymorphism and inheritance, which are the four basic pillars of any object-oriented programming language. Every programming language will be applying these 4 features, rather these 6 features in itself in different percentage, right? So there are so many languages which will be having all these things inside it. Obviously object oriented language. So is it okay so far, students? Shall we proceed with the next topic? You just have to remember these 4 names right now. Even if you are not knowing, see, you know encapsulation, ठीक है? आपको class बनाना आता है, object बनाना आता है, class में data members add करने आते हैं, member functions add करने आते हैं. That's encapsulation is done. ठीक है? Data abstraction, polymorphism and inheritance. We will be doing it later on as and when our syllabus will progress. But right now it is sufficient to remember these names. But yes, it is very, very important to remember these names. Class, object, encapsulation, data abstraction, polymorphism and inheritance. The sequence doesn't matter, but this is what a general way of writing the principles. Okay, so majority of you are saying that, okay, we can proceed. Let me go to the next topic for today. Okay, before moving on to the next topic, let me have some clarification, again revision of something, so that it is easier to understand the next topic which we are supposed to do. Okay, now let's say I'm creating one class student. Now let me have the data member as integer roll number and string name, correct? Okay, so these are 2 data members. I'm having some member functions like void set data. This is a setter method, right? Void set data, then integer r, string n, and see, I can have constructor and I can have setter methods to initialize the data members, right? So I'll be writing r number is equal to r and name is equal to n. ठीक है? Name is equal to n. Okay, so this is, say, suppose this is what I'm having, these number, and fine, that's it. Right now I'm keeping a very simple class. Now I'm writing this statement. Can anyone tell me what will happen when I write this statement? Student s1 is equal to new student Okay, can anyone tell me that what will happen internally when we write this statement, student s1 is equal to new student? Starting from the first process, what will happen? I'll really appreciate if you remember all the, here you have to include the concept of constructor, what is the sequence of giving the memory, who will allocate the memory, how much memory will be allocated, everything we have discussed in previous session. So I'll really appreciate if you remember that and discuss it with me. Yes, anyone want to try that, what will happen internally when we write student s1 is equal to new student? Anyone? Please unmute yourself and answer. Yes, please.
Ma'am, here a student is the name of the class.
Okay.
S1 is the reference
Very
to the
good.
object.
Yes.
New is the keyword that allocates memory dynamically.
Very good.
And a student is the constructor.
Which type of constructor? Because we have multiple types of constructor. Right now we are talking about which constructor, Vicky?
Ma'am, it is the default.
Very good. It is the default constructor. Now, if you can see, we have not written any constructor inside our class. So, will it give me error? I have not written any of the constructor within the class. So, will it give me any compile time error or runtime error?
No.
No. Why no? Why no?
Because ma'am, constructor is on. Uh,
Yes, tell me, you are on the right track, Amit.
ma'am, because constructor is on default
हिंदी
object.
में आता है तो हिंदी में बोलो, चलो चलेगा. Anyone, any other wants to try? Why it will not give me the error? Why it will not give me error? Yes, Harshil.
Ma'am, because the default constructor is already included in the class.
Yes, so yes, correct, correct. So if you are not writing any of the constructor, then every class will be having its own default constructor. But if you have written the constructor by yourself within the class, then that default constructor will not come into the picture. Then your constructor will only come into the picture. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So correct. Everyone is correct. Well try. Harshil, Vicky, Amit, everyone. Okay. So when I write the student S1 is equal to new student, internally there will be a memory allocation with the help of new. But new needs to know that how much memory I have to allocate, because this is not a predefined data type, it is actually a user defined data type. Hence, the new operator which is allocating the memory dynamically will contact or will consult the constructor whose task is to initialize the data member. So it will go to that constructor, it will come to know that actually there are two data members whose memory I have to allocate. So automatically this constructor will be called, it will calculate the number of data members inside it, and with the help of new operator, the memory will be allocated dynamically. So internally, if you see, there will be memory like this. It is very important to understand this, student, because the next topic will be based on this only. So there will be S1, there will be S1 here. That S1 will have two things inside it. One will be roll number and another will be name. So name and roll number will be there. Now with the same thing, so this is what it is. Now, as we have not initialized any data member, R will be having 0 and string name will be having null. It will be having null string. ठीक है? अभी ऐसे S1 का हो गया. अभी S2 का S2 करेंगे तो क्या होगा internally? जैसे ही मैं ऐसे करूं, student S2 is equal to new student, right? That means again I have used the new operator. That means again my memory allocation will be done, which will be equal to the size of your student class, and it will be assigned to the reference S2. So again, if we draw the, if we using this pen, if we want to draw and understand, again there will be dynamic memory allocated for two components, R and N. ठीक है? Suppose I am giving, assume that we have set the value. Let me do like this: S1 dot set data and roll number 1 with name ABC. So the name and roll number has been set for S1, and similarly if I do like this, S2 dot set data and roll number 2 with name PQR, right? Now if I have written this, your roll number will be having value 1 and name as A, B and C. Similarly, you will be having roll number S2. For S2 it will be 2 and P, Q, R. Correct? So this is what it is. Any doubts so far, student? If I create another object S3 and again allocate memory equal to student, then again there will be a separate copy of roll number and name created, and it will be pointed by reference S3. Any doubt with this, student? Any doubt with this? Any doubt with this concept? Okay. Now, suppose, so these data members you have used, that is roll number and name, are actually the unique value associated with every object. So R is a separate copy for S1, separate copy for S2. If I create 100 such objects, every object will be having unique copy of R and N. That is to be understood. Now, if I want to access this R and if I want to access this N, what I need? I need the help of the object, that is S1.R and S1.name. I need the name of the object to access those values because they are object specific. Sometimes it is called they are instance specific. Instance मतलब what? Object. ठीक है, class का instance हम बोलते हैं ना. What is an object? It is an instance of class. So R and N will be separate, will be unique for each and every object. But sometimes we need some kind of variables or methods which are not separate for individual object, but we need it for we need single copy which is shared by all the objects. ये क्या हुआ? ये सिनेरियो में क्या हो रहा है कि R और N की हर ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए एक सेपरेट कॉपी बनती है, मतलब इट इज यूनिक फॉर एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट. और जैसे कि ये यूनिक फॉर एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट है, we need the name of the object to access it, like s1.r, s1.name, s2.r, s2.name. We need this, right? Because it is separate, it is unique. मैं सिर्फ r लिखूंगी. Right now if I do, okay, let me justify myself. अगर मैं ये लिखूं, suppose this statement will be explaining you in much more clear way. System.out.println. Now I say R, rather roll number. Which roll number will be printed? Can anyone let me know? Which roll number will be printed? If I write system.
Ma'am, it will not print any roll number.
First of all, it will be giving me error.
Errors, yes ma'am.
Right? Because there is no existence of your class doesn't know what is R number, because it is not a normal data variable. It is the part of the object. Hence, you need the name of the object along with the data member, like this S1 dot. Now the compiler is very clear that I am supposed to access the S1 roll number only. Now there is no confusion. Right now if I don't write S1, it will be confusion. Okay, I know that there are two roll numbers. I have roll number with S1 also, I have roll number with S2 also. Which roll number should I print? Because both of them are having roll number. Right? So there is a confusion, there is an ambiguity to the interpreter, and hence interpreter will not, your compiler only will say that this is not allowed. You have to write the name of the object if you want to access the content of the object. Okay? So S1, now there is no confusion to interpreter, no confusion to compiler. So it will successfully compile also and successfully execute also. Okay? ये हुआ इंस्टेंस लेवल मतलब ऑब्जेक्ट लेवल के मेंबर्स हुए, मतलब ये ऑब्जेक्ट स्पेसिफिक मेंबर्स हुए. ऑब्जेक्ट चेंज हुआ, मेंबर्स चेंज हो गए. ठीक है, हर ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए एक यूनिक कॉपी. लेकिन देयर आर सिनेरियोज और देयर इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट समटाइम्स that we don't want separate copy created for each and every object we create. We need only one copy that should be shared by all the objects which are created for that class. For example, let me give you one example. I want to count the number of objects created for this class. I want to count the number of objects which are created for this class. Now, अगर मैं ऐसा simple variable ऐसा लिखूं, integer count, अगर आपको लगे मैम ये तो easy है, यहाँ पे integer count ऐसा लिख दो, integer count, ठीक है. अभी count मैं पहले 0 कर दूंगी कंस्ट्रक्टर में, फिर जैसे ही ऑब्जेक्ट आएगा, जैसे जैसे हम ऑब्जेक्ट बनाते जाएंगे हम काउंट की वैल्यू देंगे. नो, द थिंग इज, ये जो काउंट वैल्यू है ये कोई अलग अलग वैल्यू नहीं है. आई वांट टू काउंट द नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट. मतलब जैसे कि ऑब्जेक्ट बना, उसको ये इसमें जो भी वैल्यू है काउंट में राइट नाउ करंटली व्हाट एवर इज द वैल्यू, आई हैव टू इंक्रीमेंट इट बाय 1. और एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट को यही काउंट वेरिएबल एक्सेस करना है. हर ऑब्जेक्ट को यही काउंट वेरिएबल को इंक्रीमेंट करना है. आर यू गेटिंग द सिनेरियो एवरीवन? आर यू गेटिंग द सिनेरियो?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there is some situation, there are some requirements where we don't want separate copy created for individual object. We need only single copy that should be shared by all the object. Is it clear? So at that time when the need is something like you need to share a variable, right now I'm talking only about variable to make it simpler. If there is a chance or if there is a requirement that you need some data or you need some variable which should be shared among all the objects and there should not be separate copy for all the objects, then we use the concept of static variables. Static variables. So static variables are sometimes called class variables. Because why class variables? See, these are object variables. This roll number and name are object variables. Why object variables? Because you have a separate copy for all individual object. Whereas for static variables, if you create a static variable, then that variable will not be separate for every object. It will be common. There will be only one copy of static variable created in the memory, only one copy. And that copy will be shared among all the objects. Are you getting the concept? So static variables are those variables which are shared among all the objects. Even if you create 1,000 objects, all the objects will share that same copy. Share in the sense, there will not be separate copy for individual object. If the object wants to access the value or if object wants to modify the value, the same copy will be affected. If S2 is doing any modification in static variable, then S1 will get the updated value only, because S1 and S2 both will access the same variable because it is shared. Clear everyone? Clear the concept? Programmatically we will be seeing that, but conceptually you should be clear that what are static variables. Static variables are shared variables which are shared among all the objects. There will be only single copy created, and they are not object specific, they are actually class specific. ठीक है? Suppose अभी static variable समझ में आ गया, तो हम बोल देते हैं static integer count is equal to 0. Now there is one rule. Okay, static integer count. Okay, there is one rule that static variables are always initialized by 0. Static integer variables is always initialized by 0. That you have to remember. Now what I'm doing is, what I'm doing is, that means now ये समझ में आ गया, R और N स्टैटिक नहीं है, वो नॉर्मल है, वो नॉन स्टैटिक है। इसका मतलब हर ऑब्जेक्ट की सेपरेट कॉपी होगी, लेकिन मैंने काउंट वेरिएबल है वो मैंने क्या बनाया है, स्टैटिक बनाया है। इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि काउंट वेरिएबल की सिंगल कॉपी होगी, काउंट वेरिएबल की सिंगल कॉपी होगी। So there will be a variable called count, and it will be, the value will be always 0. ठीक है, now 0. Now what I am doing is, let me have one, okay, let me remove this. Assume that we have already set the data. Now what I am doing is, void increment count and what I want is, here I will be doing count plus plus. Okay, so I just want to increment the value of count. What is the thing, s1 dot increment count. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, मैं s1 से इंक्रीमेंट काउंट कर रही हूं, तो इंक्रीमेंट काउंट यहां से कहां गया, यहां गया, उसने काउंट की वैल्यू इंक्रीमेंट की। अभी काउंट वैल्यू ऑब्जेक्ट स्पेसिफिक तो है नहीं, मतलब का ऑब्जेक्ट का अपना काउंट नहीं है, ऑब्जेक्ट विल modify or object will use the same shared copy for that count. So instead of 0, now it will be 1. ठीक है, now it will be 1. So if I try to print the value of count now is 1. Similarly, if s2 is also doing this, s2 dot increment count, what will be doing, again count is a static variable, so it is a shared, so same copy will be used. So s2 will also update the value from 1, whatever is the value it will increment it. So again from 1 your s2 will increment it to 2. So same copy is going to be affected by all the objects because it is shared by all the objects. Am I clear with this? Now if someone says that print the value of count, now is there any error? If I print the value of count, now is there any error? Umang says no. Anybody is telling yes? Is there any error? No error. Actually it will be error. Logically, if you think that there will be no confusion to compiler, right? You are saying no because you think that the compiler or the interpreter will not have any confusion for count, because count is not belonging to any of the object. Count is a separate thing. ठीक है, count is a separate thing which is used by all the objects. So it is not object specific, instance specific, right? But don't forget that it is a class specific. मतलब simple ये count value, हाँ ये सही है कि object का नहीं है, कोई भी एक object का नहीं है, लेकिन ये एक पूरे class का है. So static variables are accessed like this. Student dot count. So class name dot variable name, class name dot variable name. उस टाइम ऑब्जेक्ट स्पेसिफिक में हम क्या करते थे, ऑब्जेक्ट नेम डॉट द फील्ड नेम. क्यों? क्योंकि वो हमें ये सब ऑब्जेक्ट की सेपरेट कॉपी होती है, तो हमें बोलना पड़ता है कि कौन से ऑब्जेक्ट की वैल्यू हमें प्रिंट करनी है या एक्सेस करनी है. अभी ऑब्जेक्ट का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है क्योंकि ये ऑब्जेक्ट की सेपरेट कॉपी नहीं है, ये सिंगल कॉपी है दैट वी आर एक्सेसिंग. But this again, this is not a part of, this is not a normal variable. Again, this is a data member also, a data member of a class. The only thing is, it is not having separate copy for every individual object. It will be having only one copy which is shared by all the objects. लेकिन ये है तो अपने क्लास का ही, ये एक नॉर्मल वेरिएबल नहीं है, ये होगा तो एक डेटा मेंबर ही. इसलिए हम एक्सेस करेंगे क्लास नेम डॉट static variable name, whatever is the variable. So static dot student dot count. Am I clear with this? Static? Am I clear with this? Yes, Vicky.
मैम अगर s1 डॉट काउंट करेंगे तो उससे कुछ एरर होगा क्या?
हाँ, s1 डॉट काउंट नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि s1 के पास एक्चुअली काउंट नाम का कुछ है ही नहीं. S1 डॉट काउंट हम कब कर सकते हैं? जब S1 का एक इंडिविजुअल लाइक ये हो, सपोज यहाँ पे मैं तीसरा करूं, यहाँ पे सपोज एक तीसरा करूं और उसको मैं काउंट बोलूं, देन एंड देन ओनली आई कैन राइट S1. अगर वो S1 का पार्ट है तो ही मैं S1 डॉट कर सकती हूँ. ये किसका पार्ट हुआ? ये क्लास का पार्ट हुआ, ऑब्जेक्ट का पार्ट नहीं हुआ, इसलिए हम क्लास लिखते हैं. अगर कोई डेटा मेंबर, आपको नॉर्मल डेटा मेंबर, नॉन स्टैटिक डेटा मेंबर एक्सेस करना है तो आप कैसे करोगे? ऑब्जेक्ट डॉट दैट डेटा मेंबर, बिकॉज दे आर ऑब्जेक्ट स्पेसिफिक. दिस काउंट इज क्लास स्पेसिफिक, इसलिए हम क्लास डॉट वेरिएबल नेम. एम आई क्लियर विकी? आप S1 डॉट काउंट तभी कर सकते हो जब काउंट S1 का पार्ट है तब, लेकिन ये काउंट कोई S1 का पार्ट है ही नहीं. That's what I told, that it is not part of any of the object. It is going to, there will be one copy which will be shared by all the objects. It will be shareable resource for all the object. ठीक है? Everyone, is there any problem? We will be doing the programs in the next session for static variables, so you will be having a very clear idea. But remember the things we are discussing. ठीक है, ठीक है. Now, जैसे हमने वेरिएबल का डिस्कस किया कि स्टैटिक वेरिएबल होते हैं जो सिंगल कॉपी होती है और हर ऑब्जेक्ट उसको शेयर करता है. Similarly, now very important, I'm going back to my first session of Java, public static void main. Please understand, students, this is interview question, and generally if you will be having a Viva, the first question I will be asking to you will be for all of you, why public static void main? void main का हमें पता है कि void main नेम फंक्शन का नाम है जहां से एग्जीक्यूशन स्टार्ट होता है. main कब कुछ भी रिटर्न नहीं करता, इसलिए हम उसको void लिखते हैं. लेकिन ये दो कीवर्ड सिर्फ जावा में है main के साथ, public static void main. तो पब्लिक क्यों है हमने ऑलरेडी समझ लिया. पब्लिक इसलिए है कि मेन को हम कहीं से भी कॉल कर सकते हैं और कोई भी कॉल कर सकता है. ठीक है? बिकॉज मेन इज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट, उसे ही हम प्राइवेट कर देंगे तो कोई कॉल नहीं कर सकेगा. इसलिए जावा सेज दैट कंपल्सरीली यू हैव टू मेक योर मेन मेथड एज पब्लिक. नाउ लेट अस कम टू द सेकेंड कीवर्ड. आई एम जस्टिफाइंग माई सेल्फ. मैंने आपको तब बोला था कि हम बाद में जब सेशन करेंगे तब आपको ये समझ we will be understanding this static keyword. Now we are understanding this. See, जैसे स्टैटिक वेरिएबल होता है जो सिंगल कॉपी होती है, हर ऑब्जेक्ट शेयर करता है, उसी तरह if we have next, let me go to the next slide. You have static methods. You have static methods. अगर methods की मैं बात करूं तो सिंगल कॉपी, एनीवेज मेथड तो हमेशा सिंगल कॉपी ही बने, वो स्टैटिक बनती, स्टैटिक मेथड है या नॉन स्टैटिक मेथड है, हर मेथड हर ऑब्जेक्ट की अलग अलग मेथड नहीं बनती. हम गेट डेटा सेट डेटा करते हैं तो हर ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए अलग अलग मेथड नहीं बनती. मेथड तो एक ही बनती है विच इज शेयर्ड बाय ऑल द ऑब्जेक्ट. हर ऑब्जेक्ट उसको कॉल करता है अपनी तरह, अपने से अपना डेटा देके. ठीक है? तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि नॉन स्टैटिक मेथड है उसकी मल्टीपल कॉपी बनेगी और सिंगल स्टैटिक मेथड की सिंगल कॉपी. नो, फॉर एवरी मेथड देयर विल बी सिंगल कॉपी, बट जस्ट टू रिमेंबर वी आर राइटिंग single copy. Now one very important thing for this static methods, very important characteristic is, जैसे कि जो स्टैटिक वेरिएबल है वो ऑब्जेक्ट स्पेसिफिक नहीं है, वो क्लास स्पेसिफिक है, उसी तरह ऑब्वियसली when you are making methods at static, they are not object, they are also class specific. They are also class specific. And when you say class specific, यहाँ पे देखो, अभी यहाँ पे मुझे अगर काउंट की वैल्यू प्रिंट करवानी है, डू आई नीड एनी ऑब्जेक्ट?
नो मैम।
मुझे काउंट की वैल्यू प्रिंट करवानी है, मैं S1 S2 कुछ भी ना लिखूं, डायरेक्टली मेरे प्रोग्राम में पहली लाइन में लिखूं स्टूडेंट डॉट काउंट, विल इट गिव मी एरर और इट विल प्रिंट 0? It will print 0, right? It doesn't require any object because they are not object specific. They are not object specific. अगर मुझे रोल नंबर को प्रिंट करना है, नेम को प्रिंट करना है, मैं ऐसे ही नहीं कर सकती because they are the part of the object. तो पहले मुझे ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा, बाद में उसको एक्सेस कर सकती हूँ. लेकिन ये तो कोई ऑब्जेक्ट की है ही नहीं. It is made for that class. So once the class is ready, I can very well use particular data member or member function which are static in nature. अभी मैं कैरेक्टरिस्टिक लिखती हूँ, सो देखो और याद रखो, ये static methods can be called without the creation of object, or I can write without the name of the object. Or another way, can anyone give me can anybody complete can be called with, can anyone complete this for me?
Class.
Very good, very good.
Class
With class name only. With class name only. अभी आप अपना स्ट्रक्चर देखो जावा का, पब्लिक स्टैटिक void main और ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला, ठीक है? अभी the content is not important. Okay. So this is my main method. आप रन कैसे करते हो? आप रन कैसे करते हो प्रोग्राम? सपोज मेरी फाइल का नाम है, ये कोई क्लास में होगा, चलो ये मेरा क्लास हो गया, क्लास हेलो, ठीक है? उसके अंदर मैंने पब्लिक स्टैटिक वॉइड मेन लिखा. अभी ये फाइल हुई hello.java, ठीक है? मैंने कंपाइल किया जावा सी hello.java. अभी रन कैसे करूंगी? जावा
Hello Java.
नहीं, ओनली जावा, जावा
Only
Java.
Java and only hello. Please understand this. Now, this is actually hello.java, which is compiled, and hello.class has been created successfully. Now you are writing only hello. Hello is actually what? ये मैंने बोला था आपको कि याद रखना कि आप इंटरप्रेटर को फाइल इनपुट नहीं दे रहे हो. आप क्या दे रहे हो इनपुट को? आप इंटरप्रेटर को आप आर्ग्यूमेंट में क्या दे रहे हो? Class name. What is this class name? Hello, right? And when I am calling something with class name, automatically the static content will be called. So आप actually इंटरप्रेटर की मदद से आपको कॉल क्या करना है? एक्चुअली कॉल क्या करना है? आपको मेन करना है कॉल, क्योंकि वहीं से आपका एग्जीक्यूशन शुरू होगा. अभी मेन को कॉल करने के लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? एक्चुअली क्या चाहिए? चलो अगर स्टैटिक भूल जाओ, मेन को कॉल करने के लिए मुझे हेलो का ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा. यस और नो?
No, ma'am.
नहीं, भूल जाओ.
Yes,
स्टैटिक है वो भूल जाओ.
Yes, ma'am.
As it is a part of a class,
Yes, ma'am.
as it is a part of a class, मुझे कुछ क्लास का पार्ट कुछ है, ऑब्जेक्ट का पार्ट कुछ है, उसको मुझे कॉल करने के लिए आई नीड दैट ऑब्जेक्ट. right? But when can I create the object? Once my program gets started, क्योंकि ये तो डायनामिकली क्रिएट होता है ऑब्जेक्ट। तो अगर, और मैं स्टार्ट कहाँ से करूंगी? मेन से करूंगी। अभी मेन को कॉल करने के लिए ही मुझे ऑब्जेक्ट चाहिए। आर यू गेटिंग दैट डेडलॉक सिचुएशन? आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस डेडलॉक?
Yes,
अगर
ma'am.
मैं मेन को स्टैटिक नहीं बनाती तो क्या होता है कि मेन को कॉल करने के लिए मुझे ऑब्जेक्ट चाहिए, और ऑब्जेक्ट मैं तभी बना सकती हूं जब मैं मेन के अंदर जाऊं। मतलब ये डेडलॉक हो गया, ठीक है? तो उसको रिजॉल्व करने के लिए व्हाट जावा डिड, इट केप्ट द मेन फंक्शन स्टैटिक, ठीक है? अभी जब आप इंटरप्रेटर से मेन को कॉल करोगे, आप मेन डायरेक्टली तो कॉल कर ही नहीं सकते बिकॉज इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ अ क्लास, ठीक है? लेकिन आप क्या करते हो, आप क्लास नेम डॉट मेन, ऐसा एक्चुअली हम ऐसा लिखते हैं, राइट? क्लास नेम डॉट मेन। लेकिन जावा हैज मेड इट सिंपलर कि मेन अगर आपको कॉल करनी है वो स्टैटिक है, इसलिए ये मेन लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है। और आई विल ऑटोमेटिकली अंडरस्टैंड that if you are writing the class name, actually you are accessing the main method. Because main is static, we need not to create any object, because main is static, it is not part of any object, it is a class level method. Am I clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, please think for 30 seconds.
Ma'am,
I am not in hurry.
ma'am,
Yes.
मैम हेलो डॉट मेन वहाँ पे मैम समझ में नहीं है।
नहीं, एक्चुअली नॉर्मल स्टैटिक मेथड हम करते हैं मेन के अलावा। मान लो मेन के अलावा हमने कोई स्टैटिक मेथड बनाई, तो नॉर्मल वे इज टू, सपोज यहाँ पे और एक स्टैटिक मेथड है, स्टैटिक वॉइड f1, ठीक है? अगर मुझे f1 को कॉल करना है, तो मैं क्या करूंगी? आई विल बी राइटिंग लाइक दिस, hello डॉट f1, यस और नो? क्योंकि मुझे ऑब्जेक्ट की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन मुझे क्लास नेम की तो जरूरत है। f1 is not part of any object, but f1 is a part of a class, so I need the name of the class। यही सेम लॉजिक जो हमने वेरिएबल में समझा कि यहाँ पे मुझे क्लास नेम की जरूरत पड़ेगी उस स्टैटिक वेरिएबल को एक्सेस करने के लिए। सिमिलरली अगर स्टैटिक मेथड है तो मुझे क्लास नेम डॉट मेथड नेम, ऐसा करके हम स्टैटिक मेथड यूज कर पाएंगे। लेकिन मेन के लिए एक स्पेशल फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दी है जावा ने कि यहाँ पे आपको एक्चुअली आप मेन को ही कॉल कर रहे हो, लेकिन ऐसे यहाँ पे लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है hello dot main। whenever you will be writing only class name with your interpreter, automatically it will assume that you are trying to call the main method, ठीक है? तो इसलिए सिर्फ क्लास नेम लिखोगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट भी नहीं हुआ, फिर भी आप क्लास के अंदर जा सकोगे और उसकी मेन मेथड कॉल कर सकोगे, बिकॉज इट इज स्टैटिक। Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubt? Any other doubt? Please think for 30 seconds. Meanwhile, I am taking your attendance. I'm not in hurry at all, guys. This is one of the very important interview question. Why public static void main? So your answer should be because you can call the main function. Why it is static? Public का तो पता है कि everyone can call the main method and main method can be called from anywhere. That's why it is public. We keep it public and और public बनाने से your interpreter is not part of your class. That's why मुझे outside class से मुझे main को call करना है, इसलिए मुझे उसको public बनाना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? तो ये public समझ में आ गया। Static का आंसर क्या होगा? Ideal कि because main can be called without creating any object. As it is static, it is class specific method, so it can be called without creating any of the object. So this should be your answer for static keyword importance along with main. Okay, so let me just start with the roll numbers. Think for some time. If you have any doubt, you can write it in chat or you can discuss it with me in the next session. Great, Harshit. So Zaki Ahmed, attend your roll calls. Zaki Ahmed, okay. Sachin, Chinmay, Dhairya, Milan. Be quick, guys. Sachin, Chinmay, Dhairya, Milan. Only Sachin is okay. Chinmay, okay. Dhairya, okay. And see, there are so many students. At least
I
5,
am
7.
present.
Yes, there are 5, 7 students, which are who are not regular. They are They are regularly irregular, right? So I insist that please go through the recordings and learn the concepts which you have missed. Hitesh, Hina, Chirag, Vensi. Chirag is not there. Kamal Raj, Astha, Shelvi, Jaikishan. Okay, all 4. Hiren, Naresh, Munaf, Yatish. Naresh is not there. Moib Hussain, Krish, Mishi, Khushal. And Khushal is not there. Okay. Umang, Parth, Kartik, Deep, Urvisha. Umang, Parth, Kartik, Deep and Urvisha. Deep is not there. Mihir, Nirali, Sharad, Rahul, Shreya. Mihir, Nirali, Sharad is not there. Rahul and Shreya. Okay. Krishna, Milan, Sunil, Harsh, Yash. Krishna, Milan, okay. Diksha, Zenith, Varun, Stuti. Diksha, Zenith, Varun, Stuti. All 4, okay. Harshil, Dev, Yash, Kinjal. Harshil, Dev, Yash, Kinjal, okay. Jai, Manan, Bhagyesh, Bhargav. Manan, Bhagyesh, Bhargav, okay. Sahista, Aryan, Amit, Ruma. Ruma is not there. Okay, Ruma is there. Bajrang, Sonu, Aman, Rajiv. Okay. Akhilesh, Ankit, Kashish, Rahul.
Ma'am, Rahul.
Yes. Akhilesh, Kashish. Where is Ankit and Rahul? Ankit is not there.
Ma'am, Rahul.
Okay. Umang, Mananjay, Sonu, Divyanshu. Mananjay is not there. Bhumika, Chandan, Gagan, Vinay, Abhiraj. Okay. Shravan, Rinku, Roshan, Ashish. Rinku is not there. Okay, check. Fine. Vicky, Manish, Alsef, Brajesh. Okay. Rohini, Akash, and Ravi. Ravi is not there. Okay, so absent students are Ravi, Mananjay. Okay.
Ma'am, Ravi is present.
Yeah. Mananjay, Ankit.
अंकित इज प्रेजेंट मैम.
कहाँ थे आप? किया था?
नो मैम.
हाँ. शरद, Deep, Kushal, Naresh, and Chirag. Yes, Priyanka, you are present. Yes, okay. Fine. Thank you everyone for joining. Take care. Bye for now.
Hello, ma'am.